Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. So in the 17th lesson, Sheikh ended up covering the present tense verb. So before we dealt with the past tense, and that was our main foundation in the verb. So just before we move forward and talk about the present tense, we just want to do a quick short review of what we've done so far in terms of the fa'il. So in Arabic, a verb is known as a fa'il, and that is essentially an action. So it's to jump, to run, to move, and so forth. There are two main parts of the fa'il, and that is the fa'il, which is the doer of the verb, and then the maf'ul, the thing receiving the action, or what we would call the object. So if I had a sentence like Uzair hit Faraz, or Uzair would be the doer, and Faraz would be the person receiving that action. He'd be the one receiving that hit, which would be our fi'l, right? That fi'l would be the hit. Maf'ul would be Faraz because he's the one receiving that action, and then the fa'il would be Uzair because he's the one delivering the hit. So he said when it came to maf'ul, there was two types. There was lazim and muta'addi, right? And these classifications apply to a verb, meaning lazim meaning that it does not need an object. And we gave the example of Attala ash-shamsu, right? So the sun rose. There's no need for that rising to be playing an action on anyone or anything, right? All it needed was a doer, and that's the sun which is doing the rising, and there was no need for an object at all. Then there's another case where verbs can be muta'addi, which means that they can have an object, right? And that would be something like daraba, right? So Faraz hit Uzair. Daraba would be hit. And we need to know who is being hit, right? So a verb like that would be muta'addi. Then we went on to the fa'il, which was the doer, and we said there was two types. There's ma'ruf, where the doer is known, and then there's majhul, where the doer is not known, right? So all the stuff that we learned in the beginning, the doer was always known. So he ran, he walked, he was the doer. But in the case of majhul, it changed up a little bit, and it became things such as he was hit. He was hit. So no longer we did not know who was doing the hitting, rather we knew somebody was just hit, and we didn't know who did it, right? And we said in the past tense when it came to majhul, verbs would simply just follow the pattern of fu'ila. So you could take a word like daraba, which means he hit, put it on that pattern, and it becomes duriba, which means he was hit, right? And today, inshallah ta'ala, we'll explore the mudari', which is the present tense, and we'll look at it from the perspective of the doer being known, not the doer being unknown. That'll be the next lesson, inshallah. And for anyone who gets the document, all these terms have been defined down here below, so feel free to go through them if you'd like. Assalamu alaikum.